Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
You.
And me. Season 3.
Yeah. Bum.
Bum. All right, that's right, folks. Greetings. We are back at the tail end of Christmas in July. We've still got quite a lot of festive specials to go over with you guys. Quite a lot to get to in a short amount of time. We're like Willy Wonka. We have so much time, and so little to do. Except it's the opposite of that. We have so little time and so much to do. But I digress. Do you know what other show is as delicious as a Wonka bar? Because awkward transition.
Tell us.
It's the Movie Machine Podcast. It's what happens when you take 4 funny people and improv a movie based on a random story generator really, really, really fast. That's right, folks. Good folks at the Movie Machine Podcast pump out content every Sunday. All kinds of crazy, random, weird ideas, all kinds of off-the-wall casting choices. Check it out. Starring Ben Lifson, Jacob Gulliver, Kyle Decker, and a host of others at hotchocolatemedia.net. All right, Dragon. Getting back into Nickelodeon with this one. We're going to the Ren and Stimpy era of Nickelodeon. I have Stimpy right there. I have Ren right there. So we're talking Son of Stimpy. First of all, do you want to give kind of your background with the show?
Yeah, sure. So Ren and Stimpy, it was one of the original Nicktoons. It was kind of like in the forget if they were like all of the same year in basically the first year of Nickelodeon's history.
I want to say Ren and Stimpy was definitely the first.
No, I believe Rugrats was the first. Then it was like Ren and Stimpy and Doug, if I'm remembering.
You could be right.
Point is, there's like some variation on it. I'm pretty sure Rugrats was the first. I'm pretty sure. If not, I don't know. There's a slim chance it could be Doug. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, Ren and Stimpy is one of the originals, and I do remember Ren and Stimpy very well. It was really out there show. It had great production value initially with the John Kricfalusi run before they kind of you'll notice they kind of slip into the games era of animation. Basically, it's a lot of Kricfalusi's ideas were pitched and they were still in the works after he was let go from the company. Basically, they had a big. I'll get to that in one sec. But basically after Falusi, there's kind of a quality dip, and that just felt a little more like didn't feel as special, as creative, as like kind of edgy. Again, this is basically back in the 90s. This is really kind of like our Adult Swim we have now, but it was like in an earlier. But people used to think The Simpsons was edgy. This is like the Family Guy era we had way back with the Ren and Stimpy. It pushed the boundaries.
Right.
But it was like an homage to kind of the classic Looney Tunes, a Bob Clampett style, like classic cartoon style. Like kind of like the wolf, howling at the girl at the club sort of stuff. Like a Tex Avery Bob Clampett style, but kind of tailored to something like you've never seen before. And that was what the show really, really brought. It's about like kind of these two unlikely roommates who had like go on these wacky adventures together. Ren and Stimpy. It's like a different occupation each time. It's like I can't call it Abbott and Costello because there's way more bananas and crazy than that.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to a lot of nostalgic memories, it was kind of a staple of kind of the classic Nickelodeon shows that was unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Yeah, for me personally, this was the show that I watched, but kind of was like, oh man, I don't want to watch this. I want to watch Rugrats. Honestly, as a kid, I was just kind of put off by some of the off-color stuff in it, some of the, some of the really off-the-wall kind of gross-out gags and stuff like that. I rediscovered the show when it came out on DVD as a teenager. I really fell in love with it then. I've been in love with it ever since. I absolutely admire the hell out of the early John Kay seasons and just how artistic he made it in spite of just having such lewd thematic material to work with. And Dragon, I think the episode we're going to talk about right now is kind of like the ultimate culmination of that. It's like this episode is literally about Stimpy farting. And yet it's arguably the most emotional episode of the whole series and one of the most emotional moments in all of like early 90s Nickelodeon.
Oh, yeah. So if I could get into the background on that real quick, there's actually a really interesting story behind this episode. I'll get into it when we're going through the recap. I just want to set the stage, just kind of why we got an episode like this.
Okay.
So, first of all, folks, I did some checking because I was afraid of something. Unfortunately, There is this excellent documentary on Ren and Stimpy on YouTube. A fan kind of made it. It's basically kind of reading quotes and stuff. It's really really faithful. It's really nicely done. It's called Magic Nose Goblins: The Story of Ren and Stimpy. Now, unfortunately, thankfully, the part I was fearing got taken down did not get taken down. So there are 5 parts to it. Basically, I'd still say watch it. Unfortunately, you're missing part 3, which is kind of the ramp up of like the relationship between Nickelodeon and John K. wearing down. So basically, you get to see John K. kind of like starting to rub Nickelodeon the wrong way, and basically it ends on the cliffhanger of like bum bum bum, some bad about that. Part 4 is the best part. The part 4 is like when it all kind of comes off. It's like kind of the big dramatic, kind of the descending part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I still say definitely watch it for part 4 and just all the stuff around that. But the point is that that's an excellent thing. It showcases what kind of an enigmatic, kind of eccentric character John Cristofalusi is, and it's very reflected in the series. Because I mean, when he's a wonderful exercise when you have creative people and you give them utter control. And for the most part, when John K. had complete control, like now his projects that he's doing on his own, they're post Ren and Stimpy, because he does not own Ren and Stimpy. That's why you're not really seeing kind of Ren and Stimpy cartoons, with the exception of like some sort of arrangement they reached with the Spike cartoons.
Sure.
The like the Naked Beach Frenzy and like the Stimpy's Pregnant, all kind of the weird ones. Like where it's like post Ren and Stimpy, post when things really soured. Like you don't have Billy West, because there's a hilariously uncomfortable interview between John Cristofalusi and Billy West.
Get your popcorn ready if you're going to watch that. Yeah,
it's an Howard Stern radio show, because it's like basically they've been surprised that they're in the same room together, and they really had a. Basically, John Cristofalusi, he was let go from Nickelodeon. I'm not again, folks. Check out the documentary against Magic Nose Goblins. Really good. What you do have of it, but point is, John Cristofalusi, he's an eccentric, and he wanted complete control over the episodes. And when that happened, you get episodes like Snippy's Invention, which is by far the most memorable episode of Ren and Stimpy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Happy Happy Joy Joy episode.
Of course.
That one he had complete creative control over that, and that one is kind of a masterpiece in itself. Like, he was so precise over every detail. Like, they wanted to change like one little thing, make the duck into a beaver when he's like bringing it down the machine. They says no, it has to be a duck. So I mean, you gotta admire the guy for that. But I mean, now you see kind of his current work. It's fine, but it's definitely, it needs. I think you need kind of that restraint. You basically need to be put into a box so you can have all your creative ideas in there. So it's in the format of something cohesive.
Right.
Now I think it just has a little too much power. But the reason, I'm sorry, I'm trailing up. But let me bring it back here for we get into the episode. So.
I just said, yeah, you are a little.
Okay, but this is getting back to the thing now. So, basically, to make an episode like Snippy's Invention, which is John Cristofalusi having complete control, that is his baby. It looks perfect, it's everything. He struck a deal up with Nickelodeon. He had a really great relationship with Vanessa Coffey. Vanessa Coffey, kind of the nice producer, kind of the Gene McCurdy of Nickelodeon for that show. He basically kind of struck a deal up with her. Let me do a few episodes that I really, they're my passion projects, and we can go off the walls, do all the gross guys, whatever we want to do in it. Basically, we can push the limits of these episodes, and in return, we'll give you really kind of cool, touchy-feely, really sentimental episodes like this. And that was the trade-off. And that's the thing. You get episodes that are still really amazingly heartfelt over the most ridiculous...
heartfelt, given the subject matter.
Again, this is the most ridiculous plot. If someone just told you what the title of the episode... Let me tell you the alternate title of this episode. It's not Son of Stimpy. I mean, the other title... So, again, I'm going to be interested going into this thing, which version you saw versus... There's a few different versions of this because edits were made. So very minor. It's nothing big. Just minor censorships here and there. But point is, they had that trail of, like, they made like Stimpy was the littlest giant episode. It was like all these adorable, like, oh my god, they're so heartfelt, so ridiculous yet heartfelt. And this one, of course, the alternate title. This one's Stimpy's First Fart.
Right.
And this episode is Stimpy's first fart, but again, Son of Stimpy. It's such an emotionally powerful and so well done. Again, this is like another example of John Cristofalusi in charge and pretty much getting everything he wanted per that deal, per that arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, it's a masterpiece. Oddly, it's as strange as it is to say, it's a masterpiece of an episode. Let's get into it. Sorry for trailing off there, but I have to set the stage. So,
no, it's all good. It's just we are kind of like we're starting a little late tonight. So okay.
Right, so we start with Burl Ives, which again, Happy Happy Joy Joy, an homage to Burl Ives. Burl Ives' big holiday thing. Let's chalk that one up to a trope right now. Burl Ives saying, "This is a true story we just made up."
God. Then Stimpy's just watching TV. There's a wonderful close-up on his ass. Just a very wonderful artistic close-up on his ass. Just lovely.
I tell you, I miss the stuff. I miss the cell animation days, like Batman animated series and the show have like the painted stills that looked amazing.
Right.
There's a disturbance in Stimpy's bottom, which leads to his first fart. And the smell, this is a very into detail. The smell rises and then exits frame. Importantly, it does not disperse into.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Anyway, so Stimpy panics, just looking at the aftermath of the situation. He panics. They run! The wonderful Billy West in this episode. He runs to the other room to John Cristoforetti, who did the voice for him. Runs to Ren, and I love this. This is the classic Ren. I love this. Ren is just restrained Peter Lorre madness. That's what he is. You know, he's just reading in a smoking jacket with a fez on his head. Just reading. It looks hilarious. That's a brilliant image. So Stimpy
explains, something came out of my butt.
I love how scared he is. Something came out of my butt.
Oh, that's nice.
Ren says, it made a sound. Then Ren
let's see if I got this straight. Something came out of your butt, and it made a sound.
And it smelled kind of funny.
Oh, Stimpy, you've really lost it this time. All right.
So Stimpy tries to, I'll show you. I'll do it again. He tries to make it happen. He's wrenching, he's bearing down, and it's a no-go. Basically, the butt deflates, and I love that. This little detail. I love that Ren kicks the deflated butt cheeks.
I love how this show, it shows the most absurd, gross-out stuff in the most artistic of ways. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Again, this whole show, they were kind of the top of the heap when it came to making the bodily humor jokes, making the gross out jokes. This show, again, actually, this show and Rugrats, well, more so this show. I'm saying Rugrats at times they would have their potty train episodes and stuff. But this show was kind of the masterwork of doing the gross out here, which Nickelodeon would then kind of patent in a way.
Right. I don't want to hear any more about your stinky fantasy, Stimpy.
And this leads Stimpy to a journey to prove Stinky is real. I'm gonna find him. Again, it's so the performance Billy West is giving in this episode of Stimpy is
the performance mixed with the over the top operatic music and the lighting.
The score. Ren and Stimpy, again, the John Cristoforetti days definitely. I can't recall how it was after he left. But, in those days, the score was great. They had basically Nickelodeon had over Cartoon Network. They had a great library of classic operatic sounds they would play during the cartoon. SpongeBob has the same library, Tiki. Now they've kind of
and they also had right. And they also had great composers like Mark Mothersbaugh working on Rugrats as well.
Yes. And again, just you kind of have your this library of great operatic music they would use in the cartoons, the "Hello Mother," "Hello Father," right. Just the classic library that SpongeBob used to use. Unfortunately, they don't really do that now. But Ren and Stimpy was the one that kind of first used this great library of sound. And the score is just fantastic because it complements everything so well. So Stimpy's on the search. Stimpy.
Stinky.
Yep, he checks with the magic nose goblins themselves, nose goblins who are underneath the piano bench.
Yes.
And I love this. The insane logic of this. And by the way, we're in kind of our last tier of Christmas in July. The preface of his last tier is it's all the crazy specials.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good to know. Because this one, Christmas doesn't even come into play until about halfway through.
And this is the beginning of our crazy ones, by the way. This is the start of this. Now we're coming off the rails in these last couples.
Oh God!
So Stimpy is searching on the piano bench. He's giving a description of Stinky. He's small and he smells funny. And he came out of my butt. Two of the magic nose goblins, which were boogers placed on the thing, and the fact that they say he came out of your butt, and then they're all just whispering to each other. They think he's nuts, and they woo. The lead one saying, we'll keep a lookout for it. They're that leader is so pleasant though. They say, yeah, sure, we'll keep a lookout. It's so ridiculous, the magic nose goblins.
And then Stimpy just smashes his face into the magic nose goblins, and seemingly they're all dead.
No, they'll be fine. They're not, they're not human.
Yeah, I know.
Again, we have some great score. We got some fantastic painted stills of Stimpy looking looking. Vera Farmiga must have like a sign of approval in this episode.
Oh god.
There's so much beautiful sadness in this episode.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
And right here, oh my god, this scene's gonna break your heart because you have Stimpy looking so sad at the TV, and
he's like unshaven and unkept. There's like giant circles around his eyes.
And again, folks, it's just take any of these shots out of context. They're beautiful stills.
Absolutely,
looking sad, and this Ren peeking at his like the lonely man.
And you know what? Even in context, given how ridiculous this fucking story is, it still works. It's still very effective.
Absolutely. Okay. So Ren tries to cheer Stimpy up, which is kind of a change of pace. Ren usually Ren's like slapping around or saying, "You eat."
Ren is like kind of out of character this episode, but I find it a bit refreshing.
You'll rarely get this. I mean, Stimpy's at a very low place. You can't just be horrific if he's beating him down even further. Then he has to bring him up before he can do any of the regular stuff. So Randy's just trying to cheer up Stimpy. He says, "What's on TV?" And then we have the runner of Stimpy saying,
"I don't care." That's
so
a great Billy West delivery.
And then there's a fourth wall gag of Ren saying, "Oh, hey, look, it's Commander Hulk and Cadet Stimpy." Oh, I know. And again, we have I love the idea of running gag too. Like basically, in this episode where it's like they have an idea of like they're all sad, and, like they don't know what to do, and like a little idea moment, like with the happy face and yes. And this is Muddy Mud Skipper, which was in I believe the first episode of Ren and Stimpy. Well, not the pilot.
Familiar. Yeah.
Which, by the way, they homage that episode a few times in that and the ending. Mm-hmm. So, Muddy Mud Skipper, I don't care.
Look, man, this moping is going on long enough. Pull yourself together. And then I love this reveal. It's been 3 years.
So let me point out again another layer of absurdity, in case you didn't pick up on this. Stimpy had his first fart. And it's been 3 years since that first fart. And apparently Stimpy has so much control in his posterior that he has a litter box, so obviously he's used it. Yet, out of all those times, he's never put it together that, one sound leads to another.
Oh, God.
He's never put that together. He's so stupid, he's never put that together. Anyway, so, I love kind of like, remember the little thing that Ren's kind of giving like a sad face too, like you can see the shades on Ren here, he's actually really sad here, like
totally
he's really genuinely worried about Stimpy. He's like, come on, man, he's not yelling at him in that part. He says, pull yourself together, man, it's been 3 years.
Right.
Then Ren gets the idea, how about a new catnip mouse? Then we have this. I love this thing with Stimpy. Just the
it's like he wants to be in it, but he just can't. He wants.
I love the expressions have always been so good in the show. Just like a little thing of a Stimpy, like with his teeth, just like so realistic. Right. Then gets the litter box idea. Ren's like demonstrating the litter. Hey, it's nice and stinky, which then sends Stimpy went away. Like, just so
Billy
sad.
West's like cries of hysteria are just priceless this episode.
Man.
I would have loved to be in the recording booth when he was doing them.
And then Ren thinks his moping over Stinky is ridiculous. Now that he knows, okay, this is what he's so bummed out about. Says, it's ridiculous. He's not fully bashing him. He's just saying, come on, Stinky. It's ridiculous.
If anything, he's just kind of trying to, get some sense into him.
And again, the show, the best thing the show did, they did psychodramas and kind of these.
Totally.
They did psychodramas really well, but it's going in the other direction too. Where it's like kind of this genuine kind of
melodrama more than anything else.
Yes, I mean, usually it's like psychodramas, but this first time we're getting like a real great glimpse of kind of the melodramas and kind of the just like Snippy saying and kind of the.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of An American Tale in a lot of ways.
I can kind of see it. But again, I love here. It's like the great turmoil in the relationship between Ren and Stimpy in this episode. They really focus on kind of their relationship, their dynamic as two friends here. So it's like, I'm not listening to this anymore. He's real. Just
the conviction on Stimpy and that. It's just like, oh my God.
Billy West is giving an Emmy performance this episode. I don't care what he's getting like an Annie-worthy performance or Emmy. Then Ren saying, let the wound heal, man. I'll help you. And again, I love this. Ren is being so helpful. Like, I'll help you, buddy. I don't care. And then that just sets Ren off. He says, well, fine, sit here, wallow in self-pity. You're stupid, you're fat, stupid. Who needs you? And we see that wonderful exterior shot. We see a car without tires, by the way, in their little home.
Right.
So Stimpy silently weeps in the bed. It's really sad. And then he turns over, and then we have the reveal of Stinky. Stinky's looking. I believe Stinky's also voiced by Billy West later on, but still, I love that Stinky, for the most part, is silent in the first act, at least.
But then Stinky is just longing to be inside Stimpy's ass once again.
Yes, he's gazing up.
All he wants is a home.
He's gazing. Don't you get the significance? He's gazing upon his birthplace, and we have this operatic music play. It's like the old saying: you can never go home again. That's what's so brilliant about it.
Oh man! Like I said, I could just hear fucking Somewhere Out There starting to play during this scene. That's what I'm saying.
Somewhere out there.
Don't you start.
I want to get in a bum. Okay, so.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. So we have this beautiful. Oh my god, dude! I almost weep at just how beautiful the snowing exterior of this house is. Again, it takes me back to the Batman animated, kind of the painted cell days. Oh god, it's so beautiful. Just that the snowfall in the exterior of the house. Stimpy is calling out, "Stinky!" in the cold. It's been 4 months. Ren is begging Stimpy to help him decorate the tree. He's trying to kind of distract him from the sadness here. Stimpy has like this great little little shawl on his head for some reason. You can help me string garland on the tree. Then oh god, this now Tiki, I do have to tell you the other story. The big funny thing about this. It's real quick. So basically, Ren looks up and they. Tell me you got this scene, right? When they look up and...
of course. Come on. Yes. Stop.
I'm in.
There's a lot of subtext to the scene. There's a lot of subtext here.
I know, but I got to make sure because, again, in some versions of this is taken out. I got to make sure...
Oh, okay. Yeah. I absolutely did get the mistletoe thing. And I just even wrote down in my notes, like, precursor to adult party cartoon.
Yes. So, Ren looks up and he gets an idea. Again, the animation on this, folks, I'm not doing it justice. It's flawless. Take our word for it. Just when Ren looks up and he says, "Hey, Stimpy," and then Stimpy kind of reluctantly looks up. Again, great animation in the little details here. They look up in the mistletoe and then you see Ren giving like bat in his eyes, like, come on, it's Christmas, that sort of thing. Just looking up at the mistletoe, and then again, some implications there about Ren and Stimpy, kind of two animals kind of living under the same roof, sharing the same bed together. But let's not dwell on that. My point is, actually, let's dwell on a smidge more. This scene was taken out. Was originally taken out while they were working on it. One of the Spumco writers, one of the writers' room at the animation studio, they approached John Kricfalusi, and he was in tears. He was a gay man himself, and he was like so broken up about it, like, oh, how could you take that? Why did they take that scene out, John? I'm so sad about that. It was such a beautiful, because he saw a lot of himself in Ren and Stimpy.
Of course.
And then hilariously, the last bit of story, hilariously, John Kricfalusi tells Vanessa Coffey, again, who's the Gene McCurry, the friendly producer, who's with another producer, who's like had it with John Kricfalusi's eccentricities, saying oh yeah, he basically tells Vanessa Coffey, oh yeah, there's an animator at Spumco who's so broken up about taking out the scene. He says, really? He was in tears. Really? He was crying. Vanessa Coffey's all sympathetic. And the other guys, I can't freaking believe this.
Oh god.
And of course, Vanessa Coffey holding, basically she put it back in there because she was so moved by the fact that the guy was crying. That's why we have the mistletoe scenes. The mistletoe scene continues as Ren is kind of responded to by Stimpy, as Stimpy going, God darn it, Ren! That's all you can think of.
This is such like a realistic couple thing to do and to be involved with. It's so cutting and dramatic in a very like realistic kind of way.
Again, Stimpy is rarely like this.
Really.
And Stimpy rarely kind of yells like this at Ren.
I mean, like I said, like I'm comparing it to the adult party cartoon, but I'm saying like if the adult party cartoon was more like this kind of stuff and less like over the top, I think that would have gone a lot better.
Oh yeah.
This is like how to do the whole Ren and Stimpy are gay thing and do it very tastefully.
And again, I also think it still plays fine enough for kids, because I'm saying it should still play regardless, fine for kids. But I'm saying if you were worried about that sort of thing back in the day, you're worried about that, you can still get away. They're like they're good friends. Mistletoe is just kind of like an all-inclusive thing. So you could get feasibly. That's why they probably kept it in there. It was probably their catch-all for that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so with that though, again, I love his units. It's really. I love that Ren is like genuinely kind of heartbroken at that. And he's not like he's not snapping at him like per usual. It's just like you see like kind of little eyelashes on the eyes, just going like shaking in horror almost at what Stimpy's saying to him here. And then we see. Basically, God darn it, Ren! That's all you can think of when Stinky's out there, lost and alone. He needs, and again, an impassioned performance by Billy Westbury. He needs me. Then Ren goes, "No, Stimpy, no!" As Stimpy disappears into the blizzard. And
can I just say, I've had almost the exact same type of like confrontation with an ex-girlfriend over a lost cat. I don't know if that's too personal, but like, yes, like lost cat equals like, how can you think about that at a time like this? Anyway, so Ren, let's see. So again, Ren's begging the heavens, begging the heavens or Santa Claus, whichever. He's just begging the heavens. Says, please bring Stimpy back. Again, he'll even wail on his pectoral implants wish, because he always wants the pectoral implants, which eventually was an episode. Mm-hmm. So again, I mean, Ren's like putting it all on the line. He doesn't care about his Christmas. We should bring Stimpy back, man. I'm worried about him. It's like really passionate. So then we're in the Naked City. The Naked City, very ominous.
So Stimpy, he begins his search, and oh my God, there's a great little montage here. So we see beautiful shots.
Again, this is the thing that feels the most American Tale to me.
And he's walking in the really ice cold here, where he's got
I could just hear Fievel yelling like, "Papa, Mama!"
Son,
I'm sorry, that's the last American Tale reference I'm gonna make. I swear. I'm sorry.
So Stimpy's walking with like bags on his shoes, and we see just like the deterioration of those throughout this sequence. And basically, we see
oh my God,
there's a charity Santa, and he's going, oh, as Stimpy has been searching behind them, searching for a new home for Stinky. Nope, Stinky's not there. Stimpy's.
And then the feet just kind of turned like very grotesque and discolored.
Yeah, like now they're purple with nails sticking out of them. I don't mean like nails. I mean like hammer nails.
Right.
Then we have this hilarious like, have you smelled flyers?
And then his feet are frozen in blocks of ice, which I actually think is kind of an improvement over the grotesque and discolored feet.
Well, it is. We're just showing you how far gone is.
Right.
Now, I hope you got this too, because this was kind of taken out for timing. Also, it's in the version I saw. Hopefully you saw it. The police sketch artist gag.
Yeah, I did get that. Yeah.
It was the police sketch artist. We don't hear any of the conversations. We have some great music playing. But you can see this. Basically, we can read like in what's not crap? What's the name? Charades, basically in charades. Basically, kind of Snoopy acting out exactly.
Right.
Basically said, he's small, he smells funny, he came from my butt, being mimicked in the scene. Basically, then the cop gives us hilarious. The sketch artist gives us a hilarious look at the camera of like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. Basically, throws him out into the cold, lands in the snow. Poor Stimpy.
And then this is probably the saddest moment of the episode. Stimpy, he thinks he smells the fumes of Stinky,
and he crawls around the corner by his hands.
His teeth are all like shattered and a mess at this point. And then
it's actually Mr. Horse's fresh manure.
Oh God. That's a great way to work Mr. Horse in for the episode.
I mean, poor cold Snippy. And this next bit, actually, they were worried about because it might have. I don't know if they were actually accosted by this. Actually, they were afraid it would have read it as a suicide attempt. Thankfully, they did not read that way.
No, I didn't read it like that.
I'm just saying that, like, I don't know if that was brought up to my Nickelodeon executives. Now, basically, they had to work the timing just to make sure it wasn't like he gave up and then.
You know me. I don't like distasteful suicide humor, but I don't consider this a suicide.
Just saying that it wasn't the attempt at all either. It was just they altered. Totally. They may have altered just to make sure that didn't come across because Stimpy's he's like he's like so sad, and then
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. To me, it's just kind of like Stimpy is like, it's kind of like a, how could this day possibly get any worse?
His face gets driven on by a tire, and again, he's a cartoon, and we see there's no,
of course.
It's fine. So then we see and because of that, his face is covered, the rear end is sticking up, and he just misses Stinky. Stinky literally hovering above his birthplace.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is the American Tail moment right here. Sorry.
You lied to me.
Oh no! If you could just turn around, it's right there. He's right there. I'm sorry. Keep going.
And then, oh my god, again, Billy West. I'm pretty sure Billy West giving an empowered performance as Stimpy's son here. Why did I ever leave home?
Oh god!
I'll never find a warm, snuggly home. Then I left.
Oh,
Christ. Then he moves on with his journey. We see Stinky's trying to cozy up next to some homeless men. It's a no-go because they try lighting a match because they think one of them is a stench is emanated from one of the two. And he's lighting a match, and
I love this.
Trying...
This is kind of like the. I hate to say it, Dragon. It's kind of like I'm comparing it to the food fights thing, where it's like dramatic tension out of the most mundane circumstances of eating the baby carrots in the case of food fight, or in the case. It's not food fight. You're right. It's not food fight. Well, good. I won't mention the name of what it actually is then. How about that? That ought to make you happy. But you know what I mean. It's basically I love the tension of every, it's like a cliche, light a match if you fart. But then we're seeing the dramatic tension, the over-the-top kind of dramatic peril of a match is lit and we care about this fart.
Yes, and again, it's the son of one of our protagonists here, and he's then being violently pursued by this match by these homeless gentlemen.
It's oh my god.
And then we have he evades, leads that chase, and he evades being burned up by heading down a storm drain. We have the kind of the sad Hulk music playing almost well, it doesn't play. I'm just saying, imagine it plays going this down the storm drain sadly, Okay, so we have a sad Ren in a bed that's half boarded up.
Oh my god.
He's going under the bed. He's sadly again. So again, Vera Farmiga must have given a stamp of approval on this. Just saying, we wish you a Merry Christmas, singing "Wish You a Merry Christmas" while crying. Oh my god, it's so sad. He leaves his gift next to a picture of Stimpy, and it's oh god, it's so sad. And then Ren then opens the door and he finds Stimpy, and this is homage to the Mully Mud Skipper the episode that kind of began the series. He opens the door and he had the same music playing, but only in this case Stimpy's frozen solid in a block of ice. His nose sticking out da 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 da, the classic movie music. Da, 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 da. It's so happy that his buddy has returned to him. And it's a happy reunion, pal. And he's taking his pal. He drags Stimpy into the fire. Let's get you to the fire. And we see Stimpy's being thawed out. Then the doorbell rings again. So while Stimpy's kind of he's trying to warm up, he's still pretty cold.
He basically is just kind of his face is just a non-reaction at this point. He's frozen solid. They keep doing the close up on his non-reaction face.
Yeah. Well, now at this point, he's been thawed. He's wrapped up in blankets. So now
Gotcha.
So now Ren answers the door. He looks left, looks right, nothing until he smells something. And then he gets really happy. So he tells Stimpy that he has a visitor for him. I don't care. I think he'll care about this one. And then he extends his finger. Emanating kind of the stink lines. And then, who else is revealed? And Stinky.
Yes.
And it's a seriously, folks, as ridiculous as it sounds.
It is the most over the top, super dramatic reunion I've ever fucking seen in a cartoon.
It's the moving reunion between father and son. Only
what? I think part of what makes the comedy in this episode is simply how emotional it is and how much they get to pull on the heartstrings. That in itself kind of becomes part of the comedy, I think, because it's so over the top.
It's just they're playing it so straight and
exactly.
Everyone's giving their A game here. It's they're not wavering. You're saying, yeah, this is silly. Don't take it seriously. No, take it seriously.
Yeah.
Man has lost his gaseous child here. Come on.
Oh god.
So again, the reunion between father and son is beautiful. Not a dry eye in the house. Uh, I thought, oh my god, this is like almost Winter Soldier levels of he says, I thought again almost. Let's not get crazy. Says, oh, I thought I'd never smell you again. We're together forever, and then you're thinking, kind of again. Oh my god, the way it's played so realistically. It's just he kind of sternly realizes, oh, I can't. I have to clip his wings to do him his own good here. He sternly tells him, Dad, I'm all grown up now. Tells him he's all grown up with the music playing there, and he says, I'm a man now. Do you understand this? Stimpy go, no. He says, wait here, Pop. I'll show you. And then he introduces his fiancee, Cora. Not Legend of Cora, but Cora.
Oh, I thought it was Laura. Oh, well.
No, it's Cora with a C, not Cora.
Oh, Coral. Okay.
No, Cora.
Cora. All right. Fair enough.
Anyway, and Cora is a rotting fish head.
Yes.
Very stinky. Oh, she's beautiful. And then Ren and Stimpy have this hilarious thing. I think it's a runners with the two of them. They always go like, memories. Memories. And then we see the wedding between a gas and fish head. And your Stimpy marries him off. You know, he's presiding over the ceremony. You may now kiss the cod. And as much as I love this episode, I do this. It's kind of like a Spielberg thing where it's the last couple minutes, I'll give it a pass, and it's a seasonal pass, I'll give it. But I'm just saying, it's kind of, I hate the scale change. Scale change always bothers you because she's a fish head. She can't change scale.
Yeah, I hear you.
Basically, over the threshold, Stinky
because they
carries,
basically like go into Ren's nose for the honeymoon.
Yeah, which again, it's a cod. A cod cannot change shape like that.
I know. Who knows? Maybe Ren just has like a nose with very deep crevices in it. I don't know.
Anyway, so over the threshold, Stinky carries his new bride into Ren's nose. Door closes. Do not disturb. Stimpy is throwing kitty litter at him like rice. Says, I just love a happy ending, and that's the end.
All right. Final thoughts.
Oh, it's so great. Oh my god, it holds up tremendously well. It's emotional, one of the most ridiculous. I mean, the most ridiculous of subjects. I think it just. I don't know. I mean, in terms of it being Christmas special, I mean, there's enough Christmas in the third act. It mixes really well with kind of because you need the snow and you need all the stuff of Christmas and winter in there to kind of make it really kind of the trials of Stimpy to really hit home. So you really do need it to be around Christmas time.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think out of the Christmas specials we reviewed, I mean, it's about a third of a Christmas special, I would say, but still, it's a great selection. I think out of everything we reviewed so far this month, I definitely think it's probably in my top 5, along with highlights like Lois and Clark and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Phineas and Ferb. I'd say it's right up there with stuff like that. I really, really like it a lot. Really love revisiting it and seeing just how goddamn artistic they can make the crudest of things. Really, really clever. Really well done.
Oh yeah, I'm just an A grade Ren and Stimpy episode and a really decent pick for Christmas in July.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tropes, not a ton of them this episode.
Father and son reunion around the holidays.
Yeah. Going out in a blizzard.
Yes, mistletoe.
Mistletoe. Oh god. Yes, definitely.
Looking
Santa. Charity Santa.
Right. Homeless people around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Lone Christmas gift with no one to give it to.
Yes.
Runaways around the holidays.
Yeah.
Decorating, like mentions of garland and stuff.
Christmas carols.
A lot of snow.
Oh yeah.
Ending on a Christmas wedding.
Sure. What about kind of like just the heart-tugging reunion between a father and a child?
Well, I thought I kind of covered that, but
you
sure.
You did cover that, yeah. But I'm saying like, hey Arnold.
Oh yeah, sure. Like the reunion after many years apart. Yeah,
right.
Many years. It's been 3 years.
It's been at least 3. Yeah. Okay. Is that about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, really, really good selection, folks, and we're at the tail end. Like Dragon said, we're going to kind of get into some crazy selections coming up on the last week of Christmas in July. And as the selections get crazier, we're just going to have to try harder to go through our mantra of reviewing and picking out and dissecting and just putting everything under the knife of what makes a great Christmas special. All those tropes, all those candy-coated traditions that you come to love from your Christmas tropes specials.
But Tiki, What do we call this process? What do we call the process when we go out into the cold and we look for our stink children? What do we call that process?
I believe we would call it putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope next time on Christmas in July. La 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 la.
Memories.
I don't care.